way to start off the tournament. You really want to go first, and they are playing Fire King Snake Eye. That's the matchup we are looking at this weekend. A lot of the players brought these strategies together, and we're going to see why they pair so well. And it looks like he's going to start off with Snake Eye Ash. This is where you want to be as a Snake Eye player. This one card is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to grab you another monster. It can use the other effect on the field, and we're going to start off with Snake Eye Poplar.
Yep, since it's added to the hand, it can reveal itself and special summon to the field. And then when it special summons to the field, it's going to be able to add a Sinful Spoil, or no, sorry, a Snake Eye Spell or Trap.
Yep. Yes.
Really key here, because you're also able to grab Divine Symbol of the Snake Eye, while Diabellstar can only access the Sinful Spoils. But going to go ahead and grab that Sinful Spoils, the original Sinful Spoils. And then we're going to see, okay, this is different.
He's going to start with the effect
of Ash, I think. Yep. So he's going to be trying to summon a Snake Eye monster from his deck.
Yeah, I have seen different versions of that combo where you're trying to get, you know, either back row or the field spell to be the one that you send instead. So why do you think the reason is for this pivot? Oh, it actually gets hit by the Ash anyway.
But the Poplar is going to activate in the graveyard and putting itself as a continuous spell onto the field.
Definitely. So a lot of the times you see here, you see a Link with away the Poplar for a Link creator, but decides to go this route a little bit differently. Going to be able to send that Poplar to special summon a level 1 fire from the deck. You see that beautiful quarter-century Secret Rare original Sinful Spoils, and he's going to go right into the Fire King aspect of the deck. So he's probably not going to have access to Snake Eye's Flameburst Dragon, which is huge for Jeff to be able to break the board a little bit. But he's going to go for Ponix, and Ponix is let him add a Fire King spell or trap from the deck to the hand. Legendary Fire King Ponix. He is truly legend. Wait for it.
Yeah, wait for it. Wait for it.
There
we go.
My girlfriend begged me not to do that.
No, it's not hard enough.
So there is the...
You can't stop me. No one can stop me.
So there is the Fire King Sanctuary that's been activated, and that has placed a Fire King Island onto the field that enables everything now. It depends on now where Jesse's going to take the Fire King Island. What is he going to destroy?
Yeah, the resolution of Fire King Island will let him get 2 monsters on the field to be able to destroy this Ponix here to add the... I want to say his right name, Sacred Fire King Garunix.
There we go.
When it adds to the hand, since a fire monster was destroyed, it can reveal it and special summon from the hand, and then destroy a fire monster from the deck. Going to destroy that Fire King High Avatar Arvata, so he's going to be able to get that into circulation, bring back the Ponix. He still needs to get another monster on the field if he wants to go into Promethean Princess, but it's just going to be a Link 2 here. He can go into Hida, since there is an Ash Blossom in Jeff's side. That's why Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring kind of a dangerous card to use. You want to make sure it has a high impact, because then you're putting that fire monster in your graveyard. He special summons it back. Link climbs up into Promethean Princess, brings back the Snake Eye Ash so he can go into that amphibious Ambloel.
And it's Ambloel. It has landed onto the field.
Very powerful Link card. I like this one.
Is it a boat? Is it a tank? Oh, is it? Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a really good card, and especially with the Promethean Princess, since it triggers when it's destroyed, you can destroy it to bring back the princess, and then you special summon back another Link monster, and then when it's in your graveyard, it's going to have another interruption effect to be able to destroy. But we see that card we talked about from the other. What's the name?
Is it Burning Algae? Are we searching for Burning Algae? It's Bonfire, of course, is the name we're looking for. This is one of the most sought-after cards in current Yu-Gi-Oh!
Definitely from Maze of Millennia.
This is a kind of dangerous to open with the Bonfire. It tells a lot to your opponent, though.
Because he doesn't have Snake Eye Ash, probably, because, Bonfire a little susceptible to Droll and Lockbird.
Yeah, and that will actually shut down most of the other lines as well. So that opening with Bonfire, a bit dangerous here.
But it's going to go straight for Poplar, so it's a quarter-century Secret Rare Poplar.
And there's the Droll and Lockbird.
Okay.
Won't be adding any cards to the deck.
Nice response from Jesse.
Definitely. This is the ideal card to Droll and Lockbird, because if you just use it on Snake Eye Ash, they're still able to build their full board and do a full combo. But Droll and Lockbird's actually at its best when you are going first, because you're able to establish the board and cut them off from being able to add cards from their deck to their hand. It's tough to come back, but we don't have the strongest start from Jesse, but having the Princess, the Ambloel, and the Garunix, that's still so many interruptions with just those few combination of cards.
Yeah, and it's a very big tell, starting with the Bonfire. You don't have access to Fire King. You can't go for Island. A lot of lines are just cut off, and it's going to be difficult to actually build a board. You're going to need to summon an additional monster, maybe to hold on with another Link monster.
Also a back row available for Jesse. What do we think? I don't know this deck to use much back row. What are the options, or is it a bluff?
It could be a bluff a lot of the times. There's our stuff like the main deck cards like Fire King Skyburn, but it's kind of falling out of popularity recently. But so if I'm thinking, I'm looking at Infinite Permanence. That's a trap that kind of lines up into a lot of decks.
Maybe Called By.
Called By the Graves, a really good one in the mirror match. Oh, and speaking, is that Circle of the Fire King?
That is Circle of the Fire King.
He's going to circle it to destroy his Poplar, to swap it out for this Ash Blossom.
There may be a copy of the original Simple Spoil for Jeff to do this. That's why he's lining it up, putting another card in the back, generating 2 monsters onto the field.
Well, yeah, because Jesse used the Promethean Princess, so he wanted to make sure he still had that monster and didn't have nothing left on the field. And now the Princess destroyed the Ambloel. I don't think he has a Link 3 or lower monster to summon back from his graveyard with the Ambloel.
Should have the Charmer, right?
There is a Charmer. Yes, this Heat out the Fire Charmer.
Oh, he does have the Hita, so he could bring back the Hita. You're right. But since a fire monster was destroyed, he's going to be able to... We can't hear them talking. They did clear their chain links.
So there's the chain links.
They chained the Grunix, chained the Ambloel. The Grunix can destroy Kieran from the deck, and the Kieran's going to summon from the graveyard.
Wow! This is the power of the deck. I mean, the board, this field looks so unassuming, and this is what you're able to do with just a single activation.
That is
and the best,
so much.
Yeah, and the best part is you get to bring back this Arvata, so he has the monster effect negate, and Jeff has seen enough.
Duel 2 underway. Jesse versus Jeff. Jeff down 1, but does now get to go first here. I'm happy that you're talking about this side from Jesse. If you know that you're going second, what do you choose to side at that point? It's going to be very different than going first, so probably not the anti-spell fragrances and things like that. So I'm wondering what type of field Jeffrey's able to assemble here. Already the Bonfire, and it's not... interacted with.
Well, so one of the cards you could side in, we didn't see it here, is Psyframe Gear Delta. It's able to negate spell cards. So we would have seen it used here on Bonfire. It's pretty much key for. But Infinite Impermanence is coming down. Snake Eye Ash.
Okay.
Does he have the Kieran? Maybe he's not maxing out on the copies of Kieran, so he doesn't have it in his hand here to stop that disruption, but does have Wanted, the Seeker, the Sinful Spoils, going to be able to access Diabellstar this time.
So... Oh, there's the Delta!
He was saving it for the Wanted.
Ooh, wow. Very heads-up play from Jesse, and this is what we talk about when we say the difference between the best players, the best duelists, and the average duelist. Is I think a lot of people would just say, don't stop the Bonfire. That gets everything going, but you already know you have the answer to what the Bonfire is going to search in the Infinite Impermanence, so you save that for this.
Yep, and it definitely makes sense with that Infinite Impermanence, because, you want to use the Imperm first, because after you Delta, you're going to stick those monsters on the board and not be able to use it.
True.
So it makes a lot of sense that he would go with that Imperm, but this is where I'm talking about. One interaction from the hand, usually not enough, but when you can compare it and combo with have two, it can be stifling to the opponent. But there's still a chance Jeff hard drew Diabellstar if he's playing multiple copies or something like that.
I was going to say then, what are the next plays Jeff can look for? Yeah. Or is the turn just over with this? If this is it, ooh.
It looks like he's still thinking to this Delta, so he might have an Ash Blossom. Because you can Ash Blossom the Delta, it stays in the hand, but it can still be used later on in the turn.
Yeah, they are not once per turn.
Yeah, so he would still have to worry about him using the Delta on the original Sinful Spoils.
And he uses Ghost Bell to stop it. Because,
same kind of thing.
Same thing, because the Psyframe Drive can be summoned from the graveyard, and because it's mentioned in that card text, you can use this particular disruption.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but if it's going to stop you from being able to do anything, like, you just got to do it sometimes.
And now you know it's there, and you know once Jesse has his turn that you won't have to worry about it too much after that. So I think that that's still correct.
Jeff, very good at drawing Bonfire. Discards another copy of it. To special summon that Diabellstar, the Black Witch.
Did hard draw that.
First Century Secret Rare.
Love this card. One of my favorite new cards.
Puts down the original face down, but we do know the Delta's still there.
Indeed it is. So he's going to have to keep that in mind. Just going to go ahead and force it out by activating the original Sinful Spoils. He's going to want to activate it no matter what, because he wants to put that Sinful Spoils in the graveyard, so he can use the Wanted to get a draw out of it. Despite knowing that the Delta's coming down.
I think Jesse just summoned the Psyframe Driver from hand.
Did he?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see him pick up his...
he just set it down from hand, so that's a rough draw.
That's huge. At least a little bit of silver lining there for Jeff. Like, he may be stopping my stuff, but he's down 3 cards, so he's only going to start his turn with 3 cards in hand. But if there's a strategy that can do a lot with a little, it's going to be Snake Eye.
Yeah, just... If he opens with the correct card, then Ash. Now, the Imperm, why I like using Imperm against the Ash here is like twofold. One, you stop the card from being added to hand. And secondly, you can't use the effect on the field to just summon another one from the deck because that's going to be negated, so it's twofold.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, if Jeff finds a way to get more monsters on the field, he can use the Promethean Princess, bring it back, and still have access to that second effect later on. That's the cool part about this deck. There's so many things you can do.
And Jeff also has Triple Tactics Talent, a very powerful reaction.
This is huge, especially when if he had to use that driver from the hand, he's going to be down to 2 cards in his hand.
Yeah.
But it looks like, is he chaining the Kieran from his hand? He has a quick effect to destroy a fire monster from his hand to summon it. It looks like he is choosing to do it.
That's going to rip out, I think, the remaining cards completely.
I could do it.
That's because the other 2 are not fire monsters.
Delta's on the field. It's going to go away with the driver, and then... Ooh.
Destroy Flamebird.
Oh.
So I just want to be clear. Jesse has no cards in hand, right?
Yeah,
No, he has no
nothing.
cards.
Nothing in hand.
I've never seen this in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where a player empties their whole hand turn one without the other person doing anything. I guess the talents count.
Yeah,
The talents
suppose.
count.
Yeah.
All right. He's a Kieran and a Prayer. Can he draw Snake Eye Ash, a Fire King Sanctuary? Starting his turn with 0 cards in hand.
I will say,
Hard on the cards.
has stopped Jeff.
He does.
So if any, we just battle phase attack.
So, right now, Jesse and Jeff basically consider pushing each other into a simplified game state. Where,
Yeah.
we're going to be
very simplified game
We're playing one card at a time.
I love how we built this up to be the biggest. This deck's gonna combo. This deck's gonna combo. We're gonna have these crazy fields. And this is duel 2 of the entire
This
event.
is perfect, though, because they perfectly, basically emptied out each other.
Yeah,
They tried to
that's a
stop
good
each other
point.
as much as possible. Otherwise, if Jeff went off, then, well, Jesse with one card is going to be very difficult.
And in the second duel, this is much more common when everyone gets to side deck and we're focused heavily on the interactions and stalling each other out here. What a draw from Jeff.
Poplar is going to be able to add. He put that original Sinful Spoils back in the deck when he used Wanted on the first turn. Even though they're all down to cards, I still feel like Jeff is kind of in an advantageous position because he does have access to more cards. He had that Wanted draw. He just was able to get to the Snake Eye effect faster. But who knows what Jesse has? He did draw 2 cards and pass, so they could be some sort of defensive options from the hand. Now it's just going to link
Jeff
away.
Link it off.
now,
Link
yeah.
Karibo.
Yep, so by linking it away, you get to use Snake Eye Poplar Effect to place a fire monster into the spell and trap card zone, essentially giving you a free card to send with your original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. So you're going to be able to build more monsters onto the field. Yeah, Link Karibo, one of the best monsters in the game right now. Not only does it work with Poplar to where you can do this combo, now that the Link Karibo is in rotation, anytime there's a level 1 effect that's activating, you're going to be able to use that quick effect from the graveyard to tribute it out and dodge effect negation.
That's
as
right.
well.
Really
I think I learned that
powerful.
from MST.TV video.
Yeah, it's one of the best interactions the deck has.
You say Link Karibo was one of the best cards. I think any 1-star fire monster is one.
Exactly. See that? Yeah, now exactly.
We're learning.
Yep.
We're learning.
So, the legendary Fire King Ponix has been summoned onto the field, and the Fire King Sanctuary has been now added to hand. I believe it's going to be activated right away, and that's going to set up the Fire King item being placed onto the field.
Yeah, I'm a huge Fire King fan, and the fact that Island is like the focal point of the deck and makes everything go, I love that. That's how they incorporated it into the new strategy, revitalizing this old fan favorite.
Still good
at least
when it came
my
out?
favorite, one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
your favorite, yeah.
I'd say there's a decent amount of Fire King fans
No,
out there.
definitely. I'm one of them.
Yeah, more now than there used to be.
The structure deck was incredible too.
Yeah, the old one, Onslaught of the Fire Kings. I loved that structure deck.
All right, now we know that Jesse has just really nothing to interact with here, so it's going to come down to Jeff and how he wants to approach building out the field.
He has so many options. He has
Yeah.
Hita options since that Flamebridge is in the graveyard. He can Hita the Flamebridge, put a card in his spell and trap card zone if he wants. He can push back that Kieran to not have to worry about it.
I think the pushback might be a good call on this one, because you don't know what's in Jesse's hand. If Jesse's hand has a Fire King monster, then it could just get the ball rolling for Jesse.
Yep.
Okay,
Going to
I'll just take it away.
summon Hita, get that Flamebird. Let's see if he...
this is our Flamebird.
We're sharing. We're sharing the deck now.
Now, does he push back the Kieran? Does he wait to use the effect? Does he not use it at all? Doesn't use it at all.
Well, luckily, Jeff is very safe at taking the Flamebirds. Usually, it could come with a huge risk of summoning back your opponent's level 1 fires.
Oh, yeah.
But there's not
nothing
enough in the
there.
grave.
Yeah.
that effect
Jesse
is not
opened
target,
all,
so
interaction.
you have to have 2.
The Promethean Princess is going to bring back that Snake Eye Ash that fell down that first turn. And now Jeff's going to add Poplar. Even though he used the Poplar effect to add, he can still use the Poplar effect to special summon from the hand when it's added off Snake Eye Ash, but decides not to here.
Just hold back, save some resources just in case there's not enough to do all the life point damage.
Maybe it was give him 5 summons, and he wanted to get the Flamebridge out before to play around Nibiru.
And looks like
And with
Jesse,
nothing in hand, Jesse just says, "Yeah, it's done." Smiles on the
Sleeve up
face.
a deck. Now they're facing off each other round 1. Now we saw that there's 6 rounds a day with only 16 people. That means even if you lose a couple of rounds, you still have a chance to make that top 4 cutoff.
That's actually quite funny. You know how a lot of these players mentioned a 2-round bye? I guess they get to play the 2 extra rounds now.
That's a good point. All right. So starting off,
With Ponix. So this is not the ideal start. You want to usually summon this card from your hand some other way. So this would lead me to believe that Jesse doesn't have any sort of Snake Eye access. Because even if you open up with the Ponix, if you have the other Snake Eye stuff, there's many times where you can special summon it from your hand throughout your combo.
Yeah, you would probably just destroy with the Fire King Island or something like that.
Yeah, and then summon it with the Arvata.
Yeah, exactly. But opening with Ponix is actually another big tell of what your opponent has, because typically you do want to start with the Snake Eye stuff. You do want to like you rather have Bonfire rather than open with the Ponix.
So I'm wondering what the strongest field that we can actually set up with this opening is. I mean, obviously there's the ideal opening, but based on where we are right now, where can we go with this?
We can go far now because he has original symbols.
Okay,
well, so this will access the other aspect of the game, so he's going to have Snake Eye. But if he didn't have that before, he'd at least be able to stick 2 monsters if he destroyed the Ponix, summon the Grunix. But if he had another fire in his hand, he would destroy the fire from his hand, get 3 monsters on the field, go into Princess, bring back a fire, and link into Ambloel.
Sure.
But the original simple spoils here, just hard drawn. Going to be able to send the Sanctuary. A lot of players cut the Xyz Grunix from their extra deck because so many of their combos involve sending that Sanctuary off the field. So he's going to get the Snake Eye Ash to add Snake Eye's Poplar. Snake Eye's Poplar summons from the hand, and then if he plays another Sinful Spoils, he could add it here, or a Snake Eye Speller Trap, but he does not. Or it seems like he does not, or he has one in his hand.
Yeah, it could already be in the opening rep. But now the decision.
Yep, he's going to be thinking about using Snake Eye Ash. He's probably going to link away the Poplar into a Link Karibo. The Poplar is going to crystallize itself into the Spell and Trap card zone.
This is summon number 4, so this is a very crucial junction in the play. Yep. Like a lot of things you have to consider is like what part of the combo line are you at, and yeah, there you're gonna use the Ash here. Jesse's gonna use the Ash here, and he's going to put away the Poplar.
Didn't realize that Poplar was Crystal Beast, by the way, Billy.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a terminology to place in the Spell and Trap card
zone.
zone.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I gotta reference my
crystallizing it.
Yeah, I gotta reference Jesse Anderson. You know,
I just wanted
even
to
though they
confirm.
aren't Crystal Beast.
Yeah. I think in the spirit of, you know.
So we were thinking of you, Jesse. We're thinking of you.
So this particular line here, we put up the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, which makes it safer against Nibiru in case you do lose your field here. You would get back 2.
If you could get 1 more monster on the field, if you can make Promethean Princess while leaving Flamberge on the field, you're actually able to do your Fire King combo, and then you're able to bring back Arvata with the Princess while you have Flamberge up. Then you link away the Princess and the Flamberge. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to access that, so he's going to have to link away the Flamberge to kind of play into Nibiru here. But yeah, Flamberge kind of works as Nibiru protection just by leaving it up there and using all your other monsters
That's
instead.
right.
You at least can keep going after that.
Instead, it looks like Jesse's going to be looking for the other play. If Nibiru is perfect right here, because if otherwise he goes into the Princess, bring back the Flamberge will put the IP Masquerena in the Spell and Trap card zone. But it's Phantasme, another fantastical card against Snake Eye Fire Kings.
And maybe can get you into that Nibiru.
Exactly. That's why it's so good. You get to dig for those pivotal cards.
There are 2 Link monsters on the field. That's going to provide, I believe, a 3-card draw, and you have to put 2 back.
Yeah, now if Jesse can get his Link monsters out of the field, Jeff would only draw 1 card and put nothing back, but he would only 1 card instead of 2. But he's just going to Ash the Phantasme straight up, keep it in the hand.
I think that's smart from Jesse, because it signals that the Nibiru is not in hand if it's in the deck. So you don't want to give the opportunity for Jeff to draw into that.
The Flamberge resolves on the chain link to bring back 2 level 1 fires from the graveyard.
And Phantasme also has other applications because it does prevent your opponent from targeting your monsters.
Definitely.
And you can destroy them too. So it adds another layer of protection, especially when a lot of these effects, they do target. It comes from the Snake Eye Fire Kings.
Definitely. Except Kieran.
Except Kieran. Except Kieran. There's always an exception. Except Kieran.
But that's what this deck is. It's full of exceptions. You can't really pin down like a weak point in it, which is why it's so strong.
I love how Phantasme comes back into meta relevancy every now and then.
You
always need to keep those in your binder. Don't trade all of them away. You need a playset.
Definitely. It's one of my favorite cards.
Yeah.
I believe it's coming reprinted in the Rarity Collection too.
Ooh, that's exciting. I can't wait for that. But he does have the
Nibiru.
Nibiru.
Have
This is huge. Not being able to get that other monster on the field, having to get rid of the Flamberge means Nibiru, the Primal Being's touching down. This card either does a lot or nothing. In this case, it's a lot. Jesse's going to need some other card to extend, but I don't know if he's going to have it. Because, yeah, the big thing about – I didn't really go into why the Flamberge protects you from Nibiru, but if you get Nibiru while the Flamberge is on the field, you get those 2 fire monsters back. You then can link away the token and 1 to IP Masquerena, link away the IP Masquerena and the fire monster into a Promethean Princess, and still have a board despite the Nibiru. But that's not happening here. Jeff, putting the token in attack mode, this is something you can do with the Fire King deck, because sometimes if they stop a lot of your stuff, you want to summon your monsters in attack mode and crash it into the Nibiru token to trigger your Fire King cards. But it looks like Jesse does have Kieran. He's going to destroy the Kieran from the hand. This is what Jeff didn't want to see, that he had another fire monster in hand. So he's going to be able to do Grunix and Kieran in the same chain link. Grunix comes from the hand to destroy from the deck. The Kieran can special summon back Ponix from the graveyard. and he's going to be able to destroy Nibiru.
Okay.
That affects Grunix and summon.
Now, Grunix is going to destroy another fire monster from the deck. That's the
Arvata?
Sacred. Yep, it's usually Arvata.
Arvata here, and that's going to bring back the Kieran.
Yep, and now he's going to have enough monsters. So even though he didn't have, he found a way, since he had the extra fire monster in his hand and opened up with the Sanctuary, this is actually just another way to play around
Wow.
Nibiru, able to get more monsters on the field to go into the Princess after being Nibiru'd.
This deck is so powerful. Look at what it can do. It's just one card.
And this is through a Nibiru and a Phantasma.
Yeah,
That's huge. Especially after burning your Flamberge Dragon as well.
Notably, though, I believe Jeff still has 3 cards in hand.
He still has 4 because one was negated.
true,
in the
yeah,
hand, so
yeah,
he still
yeah.
has the Phantasma in hand. But knowing that there's only
Essentially counts
3
like
cards
3.
you have to deal with, and one of them's not Phantasma,
Yeah.
well, here we
But
are.
I mean, I highlight that because there's a lot of starters for this deck.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Jeff
Yeah, it's
still, depending on the field that Jesse's able to build here, I think that Jeff could have a very powerful turn 2. He might have done enough, is really what I'm getting to. If you only have to get through one Promethean Princess and an Ambler Whale and maybe an IP Masquerena, that's not unrealistic. It's when everything else comes online behind that, too.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse. That's right. We'll have to see if he's going to link away these 2 monsters for... What's he going for?
Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf.
Oh, he's going for Sunlight Wolf. Okay, so he's going to
sure.
trade out the Ponix for the Link Karibo to try and add back, I would imagine, the Kieran to the hand.
Likely the Kieran.
Yeah, so-
Sometimes they add back the Garunix just so that they can play around stuff like Soul Release.
Soul Release
Soul
is a good,
Release.
especially in game number 3, it's something to keep in mind. Yeah, Jeff's going to want to have a power spell to try and get back into this one. So, yeah, it looks like Jesse is thinking about the Grunix or the Kieran. The Kieran's smart if you have another fire monster because you're going to be able to destroy the fire monster to trigger the Grunix in the graveyard at any time that you want. So it kind of will play around whatever card they might have to disrupt your board.
I'm assuming Promethean Princess is about to hit the field. The highlighted card of the entire weekend. If you don't have this, you want it.
Oh, yeah.
If you have it, you're happy.
Bring out.
The Bestower of Flame is going to bring back Flamebirds. Now Jesse can use that Flamebirds effect to put the IP Masquerena. He's going to need to get this Princess off the field, though. Does he have something he can link
Ambler
the...
Whale?
Ambler Whale.
yeah.
Ambler Whale.
That's
But he doesn't want to use the Flamebirds because he uses the Flamebirds to summon IP.
Oh, that's right.
So, and if he leaves the... Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting.
You can't summon back
Yeah,
the IP
you
at the
can't
moment. You're
summon the
a
IP
little
because
bit
the
stuck
Prince-
right there because we are locked into fire monsters while you have the Promethean Princess.
I'm wondering if
on the field.
maybe... I mean, obviously, Jesse has a plan here.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, if we
Oh,
know
he has the
Jesse.
Kieran.
The
He has
Kieran
the
will be able
Kieran.
to destroy it, and
Oh,
then
good
that will
point. Yeah,
be
there we
back
go.
in the graveyard. We can push it back out. You know, there's a lot of sequencing here, but Jesse has the right steps to get
There we go. I'm happy we arrived there because I was like, there is another way to do this,
I kn-
but this is the correct way then.
Yes, yes. He'll be able to destroy the Princess and then be able to summon the IP. But he doesn't do it right away, so Jeff's going to get the first action here in main phase 1. It's going to be normal summon Snake Eye Ash. We're going to say that a lot this weekend.
Yep. I'm imagining Jesse... Well, what do we know what Jesse has in hand at this point?
Just Kieran.
Just
yep, I think
Kieran.
it's just Kieran. We don't know what that face down spell or
Could be
trap
an
card is,
infinite
though.
impermanence, I suppose, if he's wondering, do we use this now?
I like the card highlight for the spell and trap
Oh,
card. Oh, it's a
it's a
side
strike.
card.
Strike!
It's not royal rare like we saw in Massive Play yesterday, but it's beautiful as a
It counts!
regular rare.
It counts!
It's a
It is
great
actually
card.
very similar to how good it was in Master Duel against the Rosin when it works against Snake Eye Ash.
Yeah.
Because Snake Eye Ash is the same effect where it adds on summon and has an effect on the field. So
if it
getting
never hit the field,
Yep.
yeah, get it out of there.
It's huge. Yeah, it's one of the best cards to have going first.
That's why they play cards like Psyframe, Gear Gamma to take care of these monsters because you need that removal. That removal is so crucial when it comes to the Snake Eye Oak, Ash, Birch, all those. Anyone that would summon something from the deck is just very big, just not let them stay on the field.
And Solemn Strike, just another powerful trap in the side deck if you know you're going first. But Bonfire
James
is the
Bonfire.
secondary. Hey.
I can't. I try to stop myself every time, but I just can't.
So please don't, actually. That's incredible. So Bonfire used, as we'll grab the Poplar.
Yep, Poplar coming down.
Poplar is inevitable, everybody.
Gonna grab the original Simple Swiss. I really like playing the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye in Fire Kings. I don't know if a lot of people are playing it this. A lot of people see it in Pure, but I like it in this deck as well, just because it helps you play around a lot of cards pretty well.
You get to put a monster into the back right away
Yeah,
on
you
the
can either put
activation.
Snake Eye Oak or Flamebirds if you want to play around Nibiru. A lot of the times you do there's a really cool play where you put Flamebirds in the spell and trap card zone, and then you make like Selene into an Appaloosa, and then you use your original Sinful spell on Flamebirds, and you get 5 monsters on your field underneath your Appaloosa.
Wow.
That's like my favorite play. Well, hopefully we get to see that this weekend, but I mean, you get 5 monsters once, you get Ash, Oak, Poplar, then Pawnex, and then Pawnex gets you Island, then you get Garunix.
Yeah.
Garunix just
Yeah.
and then
There's
you
a
summon
few
back
more
Pawnex.
steps to
But
get
it's
to
all,
there,
It's all
but-
from that one play.
Billy's brain works, 20
I'm skipping to
steps
the end.
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
But now we see the original on the Poplar to summon Pawnex.
All right.
It's legendary.
Ooh.
You didn't wait for it that time.
I didn't wait for it. We're not waiting for it
Alright.
anymore. We're in game 3. No time to wait. Poplar's
We're
going
into this one.
Poplar's going to put itself in the spell and trap card zone. It's really cool to note that Poplar can put any fire monster from either graveyard into the spell and trap card zone. A lot of Master Duel players realize that for the first time, and they're just like, "Oh wait, I have all these other options.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Poplar."
I can
Master
never
Duel kinda
describe it
helps
to
I
you.
him.
think they're Promethean Princess? Wow.
There's the Fire King Island coming down
Jesse
onto the
did
field.
lose 1,500 life points, so he is sitting at 6,500 thanks to that solemn strike. So keep that in mind if you're watching at home.
True. Good call. We only have to get 6,500 here for Jeff.
How many
But
cards does Jeff have? 3
There's
cards?
still so many moves that Jesse can do.
Jesse's just waiting for the right timing when it comes to when he's going to destroy his own Promethean
Yeah,
Princess.
at any moment, Jesse can use Kieran to destroy the princess. Kieran will come out. Then he can use Garunix effect to summon back. Then he destroys a Kieran from his deck to summon back Arvata and destroy another card on the field. And then, oh, actually, that would fill him up to where he wouldn't be able to summon the IP Masquerena if he summoned all those monsters.
He may push the IP Masquerade out a little bit earlier, leaving the Garunix in there just so he can use the Garunix a little bit later if he needed
Oh,
to.
and then save the Garunix to use off the Promethean Princess effect. I see that, because, yeah, that makes sense.
Step number 1 is getting that Promethean Princess off of the field, though.
Yeah, you gotta also be careful with it, because it locks you out of using stuff like Nibiru, the Primal Being, as well,
True,
while it's on
yeah.
the field.
Good point.
All right, so it looks like he's going to use Fire King Island to destroy the legendary Fire King Pawnex. I love that Pawnex was on the artwork from the cards years ago. You can see it on the circle of the Fire Kings.
Oh, yeah.
And now we finally get the card. It's
Many
many
years
years
later.
Cybergate McCourier.
Yeah.
He's flying around Shureg, and
need
then
a-
we finally got it as a card. I love it when that happens.
Need a time to hatch,
Yeah, it needs time to grow.
yeah, get big and strong.
Response.
So Garunix comes to the hand. Garunix summons to the field. You're going to use the effect to destroy a fire monster from the deck. This is pretty good. Maybe Jesse's trying to bait Jeff into destroying his Fire King Island, but yeah, there's absolutely no reason to do that here. I would probably... yeah, the thing you have to destroy is the flame... Is that the most advantageous? I don't know what you destroy with Kieran here. It's either Flamebridge or IP, I feel like.
Not the princess.
It has to be the
tough
IP.
place to be in right here.
Yeah. Yeah, not the princess. You
Yeah.
you destroy the princess on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff definitely knows what's online. He knows that Kieran's in hand and what that represents. He's probably trying to... how we were talking about the board being clogged. Is he going after the token?
26, I think.
No, he's asking how much
This,
attack does it
this.
have. So the thing is, when you're going second, even though if your opponent has a ton of monsters, there's a lot of different ways in the Fire King Snake Eye deck to still finish them off in one turn. You can use your extra deck, you can use Access Kotaker, but more recently,
Yep.
Salamangreat Raging Phoenix into World Sea Dragon Zelantis.
Oh, yes.
You use the sea, you can banish all the monsters on the field, they all come back. You pick the positions, you can put them all in attack mode, but then you get to use the Promethean Princess from the graveyard, destroy one other fire monster you have, and then that brings back the Raging Phoenix, who gains all that attack, and you get to do so much damage.
And there's even more with that because the Zelant is now co-link, likely going to be co-link with the Promethean Princess, which will allow you to destroy 2 more cards in the battle phase.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to break their board. Monsters won't defend you, but keeping your opponent off getting to those access. I know Jesse's really, really considering that right now. He has to watch out for that. And there's also ways you can do it even if they don't have a monster. If you go into Raging Phoenix into Zelantis, and you get a co-linked Sunlight Wolf or Nightmare Phoenix, you can just go to battle phase, attack with Zelantis, attack with the other one, the other Fire Link, use the Zelantis effect, destroy it, and then you bring back your Raging Phoenix and attack for game with that. So they don't even have to have monsters. A lot of people think that the Fire King deck needs monsters on the field for that line, but there's also another way.
Very smart,
But
very
wait,
smart.
there's more.
But wait, all you got to do is keep summoning monsters on the field and keep accessing that extra deck.
All right, well, he's taking his time with it. 8 minutes on the clock here for Jeff Jones.
This is a critical point. The
so
token has been destroyed.
He went after. I was like, yeah, there's not a good there's just not a good Kieran target. It's either the token or IP, I think.
Yep. Jeff considering going into his extra deck. He has 2 fire monsters right now. One thing that's a bit dangerous about the matchup later in the game is that if you did load your graveyard with the Snake Eye Ash, with the Snake Eye Oak, the Hita now is just, hey, your graveyard is my starting hand.
Oh yeah, and Jess also probably looking at Hita. Hita's a great way to climb into Promethean Princess. And once you start climbing.
Now that's the intricacy of these mirror matches.
Can you please play faster, Jeff?
All right, so it looks like time is winding down. So, you know, Jesse asking to play a little bit faster. This turn's been going on for a while.
A lot's on the line here. You gotta play at a reasonable pace.
Yeah, definitely want to keep the pace of play up. 7 minutes still on the clock. Jesse is at 6,500 to 8,000. Now he's going to send the Poplar to summon Diabellstar, the dark.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, the Black Witch, not Dark Magician. It's
He's going to get a search. Does he play the other Sinful Spoils? No, he's going to go for the Wanted. Set of Wanted.
Might as well.
Oh boy. 3 monsters on the field. Like, there's just so many different ways to actually branch out into these combos.
Mm-hmm. But Jesse hasn't really committed to too much of his interactions yet. He's saving them right now.
Mm-hmm. Jesse's very, very patient here.
Yeah, very patient play. I feel like a lot of players would have tried to
That's a skill
stop
on
this
its
a little
own.
earlier.
Sometimes you're very tempted to I just want to play it right now, just get rid of your cards, but you just don't know how much follow-up is coming. But Jesse's always on top of this.
Summon.
Mm-hmm.
Play Kieran. That's right. Yeah.
all right. So now that the Hita is down, this is the time for Jesse to use that Kieran. He's going to destroy the Princess. Now here comes the Garunix. Since the Fire Monster is destroyed, the Garunix can summon back from the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Garunix effects.
That's going to probably destroy Kieran from the deck.
Kieran effects.
Kieran effect.
So he doesn't have Arvata in rotation here, so he's just going to get the destruction and not have that monster negate. Oh, no. Oh, that's right. He did destroy Arvata, but the field got Nibiru. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. He still had the Fire King access after Nibiru.
So what does Jesse have in his disposal right now? How many pieces of interaction does he have on his
He has
field?
the Arvata for a monster negate. He can move up the IP Masquerader from the spell and trap card zone to his main monster zone with Flamebird's Dragon. And then he can
go
either
into
link
Little
into...
Knight.
Yep, SP Little Knight is a huge one. He can also go into a huge Appaloosa, but since we're at this point in stage, I think, yeah, we're looking at SP Little Knight. That's a good call. I mean, we're talking about all these new cards. We can't forget about SP Little Knight.
Don't
Such
forget
a
about that
phenomenal
card.
Age of Overlord was a phenomenal set.
That's that and Bonfire are probably up there as the 2 most sought after cards right now.
It looks like he's adding a Kieran from the Fire King line. Oh, did he have the Grunix in his hand already?
I think
Oh, no,
so.
this is from the Hita. That got destroyed.
Hita destruction.
Wait,
Hita destruction.
He had a...
Hita adds like a 1,500 lower defense monster right into the hand, which is great. Hita, the Kieran's just perfect for that.
Indeed.
I just love that Jesse somehow has summoned more monsters on Jeff's turn than Jeff's.
Yeah, sometimes Nibiru is better on your own turn now than it is on theirs. But since the Arvata was destroyed in battle, it's going to be able to special summon back the Pawn X. The effect's going to be negated, and it's going to be destroyed during the end phase. But since it's destroyed during the end phase, that means it's going to go back to the hand during Jesse's next standby phase.
You know, it's funny you say Nibiru. Have we summoned 4 at this point? And IP would be... I think IP would be 4, and then the link off of that would be 5.
Yep, so...
If Jeff has another Nibiru, that'd be very funny.
I don't know if he would be choosing to play a Nibiru going first.
Probably not, yeah. Well, no,
he's going
Jesse got to
second.
go
He
first. Yeah, well, yeah.
He could have one.
Yeah, we
I'm
already
not
saw
sure.
one from Jeff.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Alright, drop a turn.
Oh, is that it? That's the pass. Oh.
Just got some damage across.
I don't know if this particular deck plays a lot of disruptive trap cards.
We know one of them's
Seconds?
wanted.
Yeah,
so-
going second especially not. I mean, it made sense for Jesse to have the solid strike. I don't see a world where Jeff has something like that.
Yeah, it looks like Jesse's just going to use the Flamebird's Dragon effect to push that Grunix back into the spell and trap card zone. Very Valence effect feeling.
I think we might see why Jeff took so long to decide his turn here. Is if you don't have that many moves to go, you have to be very selective of what you have. And we didn't even get through the IP play. Like, that's rough.
Definitely. And that looks like Jeff responded with the Kieran from the hand to destroy the Grunix. Not what you want to do. You really want that Grunix in the graveyard and then destroy something else with the Kieran to bring the Grunix back from the graveyard. But just having this Kieran defense mode, it's something, because if Kieran's destroyed, he's able to summon back a monster and destroy a card on the field. It's not a lot, and Jesse should be able to navigate a way to victory here shortly. But he's still lower in life, and time is ticking down.
Oh, the Hita comes down. Hita can also basically summon back the Grunix, and that takes care of the problem.
Wait a minute. Oh, this is such
and
an
he has-
entertaining mirror
He had
match.
another Ash Blossom for the Phantasme again.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Oh.
Now the Flamebird. Oh, you use Snake Eye Ash to get Poplar.
You know how in the Rescue Ace matchup, if you resolve Turbulence twice, you more or less win the game? It's very similar where you get to resolve the effect of Flamberge twice and summon your monsters back twice. You generate about the same amount of advantage, but you definitely can do a lot more with this particular line. And we're seeing the second time that this is coming out. And there's the Garunix being summoned out through the Hita effect. That takes out the interaction there for the Kieran.
Yep, and he's going to be able to use the Garunix effect on special summon to destroy a fire monster in his deck if he wants. He only might not have any other things to destroy that are advantageous, though.
Does he have another Kieran? We can bring back
He
the
might.
Arvada.
Doesn't look like it, though. Maybe he sided it out, or maybe he only plays two.
Phoenix.
Nightmare Phoenix.
Ooh, okay.
He's going to go after the unknown spell or trap card.
Yes, he is.
This is going to be it.
This will telegraph the rest of the field.
Yeah. What does Jeff have back there?
He's thinking... It has to be called by the grave? Like, what else does the graveyard matter this much? It has to
Right.
be called by, I think.
It's a
3
good
minutes,
card,
40
but this
seconds
is
on
probably
the
not
clock.
the position for it.
Ash Bomb. Ash.
But I don't know if it's going to be called by the grave. He would have called by the grave the Flamberge
Flamberge,
Dragon,
right?
so
Yeah.
it's probably not
he
called
might
by.
be looking at what's already been used. What effects have been used this turn? He was
have to wait
just
and see.
asking Jesse about some of the, I think, the Ash Blossom and how that sequenced the cards that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows when that was used this turn.
Oh, we have a chain.
Cosmic, okay.
Oh.
That is not a bad one to have here.
Okay, we're paying 1,000 life points for that. Gonna take out that field spell.
That's a great
Now
card.
everything goes. The Kieran effect and the Hita will trigger if he has something to add with Hita. He didn't destroy anything with the Garunix, though. I'm
Sleeves.
telling you, man, 3 Kieran. I've played a lot. It comes up. We're only in turn 3.
I'm in the 2 Kieran camp at the moment, but I can see your point.
Sorry.
I can see your point here.
Billy's like, it's okay, you can be wrong.
No, whoa. Absolutely not. So Arvata, it looks like he's trying to decide what he swims back with the Kieran.
Arvada.
I thought all hope was lost, but one card.
Yeah.
Full
We
swing
talked about
comeback.
Cosmic in the pre-show.
Yeah.
You mentioned it as a key card. I think it might be one of the most played cards right now. I would genuinely blind to this. I would say 100% of the players might include it in their deck, main or
Wow.
side. It's
Yep.
that good right now.
It's really, really good. And as mentioned during our little side talk here, you wait for them to commit. If you did it early, it would have been terrible. But now that a lot of stuff has been committed, Jeff looks through the graveyard, what has been used, and decided to Cosmic there. And the board is still fully rebuilt here, which is still unfortunate because you resolve Flamberge twice. It's going to be very hard to play.
I love how impactful that one activation was, and then maybe how inconsequential it also was based on.
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah,
The flames of rebirth.
Yeah,
the
Snake Eye-
phoenix rising from the
Snake Eye Oak-
ashes.
Snake Eye Oak was a card a lot of people overlooked kind of initially. If they were looking at like to the OCG, how they were playing these strategies when they came out over there. A lot of the lists include Snake Eye Oak.
I think
but
that's
over here,
you have to play
everyone
it.
has been
I
playing
love the card.
Oh,
We're
so he-
summoning the Dark Charmer with the Link Haribo.
Yep, so Dark going after that Diabellstar, but wanted being able to add it back from the graveyard.
Yeah.
But now he has exactly what he needs. The Kieran might stop him from doing enough damage, though, because the Kieran can still destroy a card and special summon back. He's going to go into Princess. Princess can come back. He can go into Raging Phoenix, into Zelantis. But the Zelantis would destroy the Kieran, and then the Kieran would summon back. So we might just try and find a way to use
but with the
Arvada on the
Arvada,
Kieran.
that might be able to clear it out. Jesse's just trying to pave a very clean path to victory.
And I do
Just
think
one card in the way.
there might have been a slow play warning from Jeff's previous turn. I kind of heard the judges talking about it. I'm not
Yeah.
100%. So we might have 3 more additional minutes on top of this.
Okay, that's what it is.
Could be. Jesse's just going to try and get
For
as much
Amblewell.
done on the field right now. Still has the IP, but nothing to bring it out.
Yep, so it goes into Amblewell and Zelantis.
Ah.
Zelantis effect.
It has a really cool effect. It can banish all monsters on the both players' side of the field. Spell summon it back to the owner's side, and you pick the positions: face up attack, face down defense.
I like to think of it as it's pushing the tides out and it wheels it back in.
That's a good.
That's good.
It's also just such a
Thematic.
cool looking card. I love it being like in the ocean on that link monster. That blue just looks so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's one of those cards when it came out. I was like, this card's going to be really, really good one
Yeah,
day.
At some point, it's going to be very utilized. It just has the potential for
Yeah,
it.
and I mean, the big thing that it does is it forces your opponent to special summon, which can enable your Promethean Princess from your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
But this Kieran is going to be an issue. So yeah, he's not going to use the Promethean Princess, just going to use Poplar. Link.
Oh!
He got another application for Zelantis. He picked the zone he wanted it. and
Relinquish
then-
Anima.
Give me that. Give me that. And he takes
What
the
a
Kieran.
cool card to
Oh,
play.
Wow.